If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Your source for everything that's news. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 43 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 11 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. The second crew member aboard that F-15 fighter jet that was shot down over Iran on Friday, he has been rescued by the U.S. military forces who conducted a rescue mission earlier Saturday night. That crew member who was rescued was the weapons systems officer aboard the two-seater aircraft that was down by Iranian fire on Friday. Now, the first crew member, the pilot of the fighter jet, he was rescued on Friday by U.S. search and rescue personnel. President Trump on social media hailed the rescue of the second crew member, calling it, quote, one of the most daring search and rescue operations in U.S. history, and writing, "We got him." Trump also said the operation unfolded over several hours and involved dozens of aircraft. He said the rescued crew member is a colonel who sustained injuries but will be fine. Trump adding he's safe and sound. Washington County Coroner says a person died in a wrong-way crash in Saturday afternoon. Crash happened around 6 o'clock in Donegal Township. The driver was going the wrong way in the westbound lane of Route 40 at speeds above 80 miles per hour and struck an SUV head-on. Both the drivers were taken to the hospital, but the driver of the first vehicle died at around 9:15. State police are investigating the crash. Well, Pittsburgh police have filed criminal attempted homicide, and aggravated assault charges against a woman accused of shooting a man in Larimer last Monday. Police say 36-year-old Latasha Thorne shot a man while he was holding a child along Mayflower Street. The man who was shot is still recovering. The child was not injured. A criminal complaint says after Thorne fired shots, someone fired shots at her, but she wasn't struck. Right now, Thorne is still at large. A man has been sentenced to 15 years in federal prison after being convicted on child porn charges. 45-year-old Justin Hughes of Pittsburgh was sentenced by a federal judge on Thursday. Authorities say Hughes emailed 11 videos and one image of child porn to a person in Ohio back in 2022. He pleaded guilty in November of last year. Hughes also was ordered to serve 10 years probation. KDK Radio News Time, it's 11:02. Time to visit RomeMonuments.com. Life is a journey to remember. Memorialize that journey. RomeMonuments.com. AccuWeather forecast next.
Honey, I found the perfect place for my parents and us.
Where?
St. Barnabas. For us, the Woodlands Carriage Home Community. And for my parents, condominium-style living at the Village. My folks will love the Village. There's an indoor mall with shops, restaurants, and more. And we can relax, knowing they're safe and secure.
That's what I plan to do when we move to St. Barnabas. Relax.
Call 724-444-5568 or visit stbarnabascommunities.com.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Easter Sunday starts with a couple of showers, otherwise rather cloudy and cooler with a high of 50. Then colder for tonight with some clouds and a low of 35. Ahead of a Monday that brings sun and clouds and a passing shower or two, the high 51. Then a snow shower gives way to decreasing clouds and colder conditions Tuesday, high 40. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli.
Every week, I deliver an editorial message addressing issues of importance to the community. But this one is different. It's personal. It is a tribute to one of the greatest men I have ever known, Gary Kenneth Bowser. An icon in the automotive business, Gary died last weekend at the age of 81. He founded Bowser Automotive in 1983. And the wildly successful business grew to employ over 450 people and become one of the largest and most well-respected auto groups in the Pittsburgh area. Besides building a business from the ground up, Gary Bowser was an incredible family man who married his high school sweetheart, Barb. He lived a life of community service, especially in support of the Stanley M. Marks Blood Cancer Research Fund. Personally, Mr. B treated my wife and kids like his own family at every turn and in every moment of our lives. We will miss him more than words can ever express. Pittsburgh has lost a once-in-a-lifetime guy who will never be forgotten. And so, to his family, Barb, Gary Jr., Kurt, and all his grandchildren, we send our love and thanks for sharing him with all of us.
This has been an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli. To view a transcript, go to kdkaradio.com.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition. And brought to you by Leon's Billiards and more.
Well, flying solo today. Mr. Dial is enjoying the day, Easter Sunday, with friends and family. And Coach Joe Giordano joins me now. And Coach, not that I'm Lou Gehrig, but today it's been over 4 decades that I've been here every single Sunday on KDK for Easter, but I can't think of spending it any better than with someone such as yourself. So thank you for joining me on this Easter Sunday. How are you today?
Happy Easter to you. Thank you. Be with you as always, Rob.
It's great to have you here. Listen, so a couple of games don't make a season, but man, it was exciting. PNC Park opening day, and for Marty, had the crew over there. Bob Dvorak, you joined us. Jim Leland, of course, Rich Donnelly, Bob Walk dropped by. Connor Griffin got the RBI double. So let's kind of begin with him a little bit because he has been the big story. So this guy, and we noticed it with Reynolds and O'Neill Cruz, can he actually elevate our outfield when it comes to their hitting numbers if he has a solid season at shortstop? Go ahead.
I think it definitely has an impact. You know, there's an excitement, and we all anticipated this moment. Some sooner, some thought later, but it's really exciting when you see him in that lineup, especially, you know, he was in the 7th spot. Which gives some productivity to the lower of the order. And it takes a little bit of pressure off of each at-bat because, you know, you think of the mentality last year, and it was so much pressure to score a run or to generate any type of offense. And now you line up where it really is balanced for the most part. But not as many on paper, not as many offensive holes. And that's what we talked about the whole preseason, is how that cadence of that lineup and having the opportunity to score runs up and down rather than maybe the top third. Pretty exciting. And I think taking that pressure off, you're gonna see the whole atmosphere change, both offensively and defensively. There's a level of confidence that I don't have to carry everything on my shoulders. It's spread out. It's a well-balanced team.
Well, the thing that I also liked, he didn't have to wait on the base pad very long. He came around and scored, very aggressive on the base pads. And for a 19-year-old, he's got the body, the physicality, but he runs those pads with a lot of authority. And that's just another hidden gem as far as this guy's talent, right?
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, he's the full package. When you look at what he does on the field, and just the baseball instincts, that baseball IQ that you talk about, is really uncanny for a 19-year-old to be performing in this environment at the major league level. And the transition is what I saw. It was like, I've been here before. I'm prepared for this. And it was just like playing baseball. And that's pretty encouraging. And again, I can't wait to see how it plays out the rest of the season.
Well, since we got together last, Skeens even things up. He gets a win, and we saw Mitch Keller do what Mitch Keller can do. So here's the question. When you look at what we have as far as the pitching rotation is concerned, can guys like Skeens, Keller, and Chandler maintain a sub 4.00 ERA? Do they have the right stuff to do that?
I think so. And again, defensively, I don't think when you look at Skeens last year, it has to play on you from a mental perspective that, if I get down 1 or 2 runs, I don't have a chance to potentially either finish or win the game. And now when you have some offense in there, that's going to take some pressure off of them. Let the defense work behind me, keep attacking. And when you have that full picture, I think it's going to take some pressure off of them as well.
Let's take care of the place that now signs your paychecks, and I know they're happy to have you, and they should be. So I saw a nice little piece on IMG Academy. I was up doing some work last night, and boy, it's a whole lot more than athletics. Just talk about what goes on there as far as molding and obviously shaping the minds of these student athletes, IMG Academy. Go ahead, Coach.
We have what we call ADP, which is the full athletic development plan. And we focus on, and we have experts that are outstanding in each of those areas. You have leadership, you have mental training, you have nutrition, and you also have the strength and conditioning and speed. So every day, our student athletes have a very structured program that they follow, and that's year round. And when you have experts in each of those areas, the quality of the delivery, the message, and the output and results of that process are maximum. And so it's not just baseball training or tennis or golf or football. It's across the board. They're taking each aspect of the student athlete where there needs to be improvement and strengthening, and they're delivering a quality, high-level approach in each of those areas.
The thing that I've always appreciated about IMG Academy going back in the day, and we talked a bit about the history, they also teach them how to handle themselves when it comes to speaking and more importantly, feeling comfortable, because eventually if that ability on the field gets them to that level of being a professional or even a highly, recruited college player, they're going to have to talk to the media. So the big picture is it's about molding, shaping, and giving them a tailor-made personality that fits them, that will also give them respect and demand respect as they move forward. But the question I've never asked you, how does somebody actually have a chance to maybe end up as a student at IMG Academy? How's that work?
Well, it's basically, it's a big number in order to enroll at the academy. But there is some recruiting done for our national teams. Obviously, when we're competing for national championships, it's really important to have the highest level of athlete there. But it's not anyone can attend. There has to be some competence and some skill level on the field or on the golf course or on the court in all of our sports in order to make sure that the product that we're developing and presenting and preparing for the next level is going to have the success that we want for them and that they desire to have as well.
All right, before we go to break, let's you just shoot from the hip. Overall, what really impressed you or has impressed you thus far as the Pirates go for the sweep today against Baltimore at 135, PNC Park, 93.7 The Fan? What has impressed you the most? Just a couple of tidbits. Go ahead, Coach.
I just think they're playing baseball. They look loose. They're comfortable. They're having fun. And again, I always told my guys, play the baseball, not the scoreboard, not the opponent. Let that take care of itself. Just play the baseball. And that's what they're doing.
All right, we're going to come back. Joe Giordano, formerly Pitt Panther baseball coach and now at IMG Academy. He's our leadoff batter throughout the Pirate baseball season. Back with more with your Pratt Pack today. Flying solo. Greg is off for the holiday on KDKA.
Your source for the AccuWeather forecast. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
Hey, folks, it's Marty. NASCO Roofing, the region's roofing leader. Wow, they're good. They continue to exceed customer expectation. For instance, Charles from Bethel Park highly recommends NASCO. Charles was pleased with NASCO's exemplary customer service and the quality of their work. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Charles. Now's the time to get NASCO on your roof. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO, NASCO.
If you're carrying a lot of credit card or personal loan debt, every month can start to feel the same. All those bills, all those due dates, all that stress. There's a solution that's designed to make it easier for you. National Debt Relief could put you on the fast track to paying off your credit card debt, personal loans, and even medical debt for less than you owe, with just one low monthly payment you can afford. And no, it's not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. It's a real, affordable debt relief program that could save you lots of money. National Debt Relief has already helped over 1 million people with their debt and has thousands of 5-star reviews and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. So if you owe $10,000 or more, don't wait. Call 800-300-4411 now to see if you qualify. That's 800-300-4411. One call could help reduce what you owe and simplify your monthly payments. Call 800-300-4411 now to find out how much you could save.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
Back on the Metropolitan Window video screen, you can click on KDKRadio.com, KDKA Watch. Former Pitt Panther baseball coach Joe Giordano, now at IMG Academy. I got one more for you. So, can a baseball player, we're looking at Connor Griffin, who's 19, Bill Mazeroski, we talked about the other day, the last Pirate to start at 19, and you have some exceptions, and we went through some of those names like Sandy Koufax and others. But the best way really is to go from high school to a Division I baseball team if you have that kind of talent. You mentioned Mercyhurst. You went there. I know that to be a great baseball school. A friend of mine's son is catching there right now. So let's talk about getting to the bigs through a Division I scholarship and playing for a team like Pitt. Can it still go a long way to get you to the major leagues, Skip?
Well, I think so. And that paradigm has changed. It used to be with all of them. Several, there's rookie ball, there's short season A, long season, full season A, and then AA, AAA major leagues. That basically, during COVID, when Major League Baseball went through kind of that purge of the minor leagues, and you lost a lot of those lower level, and then cut the draft from 40 rounds down to 20 rounds. I think what happened there is you had the Division I player, obviously the quality of the players that are playing college, there was more of them because they were going to school because they didn't have those professional opportunities when the reduction happened. So if you think about it, when you're in a situation, 18, 19 years old, and you go to college and you're in a Power 4 conference, you're facing, AA arms potentially. And I think what Major League Baseball looks at is when you focus on the 30, 30 plus teams maybe that are hardwired by their administrations to go to Omaha. Those teams have so much talent and experience that when they're drafted, they're a year and a half, maybe 2 years away from the big leagues, rather than having to go through the whole series of the minor league teams in order to get that experience that they're getting in college baseball right now.
Hey, even though the Dodgers and Yankees continue to be Fort Knox, and I get it, so I'm at home late last night getting a late snack, and I'm watching MLB Network, and boy, as a kid, I could only dare to dream to have something like it. So they've got 4 games on one screen at the same time, so it was hard to take my eyes away from it. But Kansas City is up and coming. We know Milwaukee has been up and coming. Why do you think some of these smaller markets, like the Pirates, who seem to be turning the bend, is it farm system? They've gone back to the old ways. What's happening with some of these small market teams, Skip?
I think it has to do with talent. Again, there's so much talent at the higher college levels, and those high school kids that went into professional baseball right out of high school, they're gaining that valuable experience. And don't discount the fact that you got a lot of great players in junior college as well that are draft eligible. So I think it's just the elevation of the talent level in amateur baseball. And you look at, you can't get all of them. So it's one of those things where I think it applied to me at Pitt. I wasn't getting the polished player that Clemson and North Carolina and Florida State or Miami was getting. I was getting the guy that had some tools, and we developed them. And I think the smaller market teams, that's what they're doing. They're getting a kid that is really talented. They're developing them. And then what happens? The Dodgers, the Yankees, teams like that come in and sign on track. So it kind of mirrors what's happening in college baseball with the transfer portal. Mm-hmm. These mid-majors are developing really good players. And at the end of the year, they're losing them to the Power Fours. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of the same type of system that's set up both in the Power Fours that have a lot of NIL money, and in Major League Baseball, the teams that have the big bank accounts.
Well, listen, I'm a little biased, but we miss you at Pitt. And, yeah, I would like to see that blueprint with a football team, now with the new women's basketball coach, who I'm really excited about, and the football team. You're right. It's about developing the talent you have as opposed to one and done. Okay, back to the Pirates. Their offense, is it enough as far as power output to support the pitchers, or is this team reliant to win close ones? Now, of course, last couple of days, 5-4, 3-2, but a win is a win is a win. So what about this offense?
Well, the way I would take a look at this is what would have that outcome been last year? So you look at what's happening this year. And again, we talked about it, Rob, for several weeks leading up to opening day, that there's that offense in there that you don't have to be in a position where you have to get that one big hit, even though that in one-run games, it's usually one big hit. But I think the depth, having Mangum and York played big roles off the bench yesterday. And when you have that type of depth and you have those moves that you can make, again, you look at the balance between the pitching, and obviously the Orioles made a couple of mistakes to create the opportunities, but the Buccos took advantage of it, and that's what good teams do.
If you're the manager, he needs some work on the outfield, no doubt, but man, just imagine what O'Neill Cruz could do. And I'm listening to all these pundits, MLB Network, you name it, reading. They're all blogging, social media, and they're all saying what I've been saying. And even Jim Leland brought it up. And I didn't have a chance to talk to him off the air. He came right on the air, and he kind of said, without knowing that I've been saying it, this team could really flourish if O'Neal Cruz even meets half the talent that he has offensively at the plate. O'Neal Cruz, early on, looks pretty good.
Absolutely. At the plate, he's a threat. There's no doubt about it. He runs, he's, again, has all those tools. And, you had said it last week, it's a long season and it is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And let's hope that with that talent and maybe a little bit less pressure, that he's going to be in a position where as the season progresses, it clicks and he takes it to another level.
All right, the other thing, and then we'll let you go. Joe Giordano, IMG Academy, former Pitt Panther baseball coach, joining us. He always will during the season when his schedule permits, our leadoff batter, to get us caught up on not just the Pirates, but Major League Baseball. Depth management, some of the moves, obviously the bullpen, but the catching logjam that we've been talking about may have finally got a little daylight as we're going upstream now. Henry Davis has been really nice to watch, has he not?
Oh, absolutely. And, that was the question going into the season. And obviously, Joey Bart, who I coached against when he was at Georgia Tech, I think there's a lot more in there as well. But with Davis kind of coming into his own a little bit and doing a great job, the biggest thing about a good friend of mine, Dave Wallace, who's a very well-respected Major League pitching coach, told me he always used to tell when he was the pitching coach with the Dodgers, he said, I would tell all the people in that draft room, hey, most important to me, give me a catcher that my pitchers want to throw to.
Amen.
And there is so much value in that. That to me is the difference maker, whether you put a guy in the lineup or not, is if a pitcher's comfortable throwing to that catcher, that's invaluable.
Last night, Pirate Bounty, another thing I'm watching, Bucko Regional Sports Network, Stephen Brault, Mike McHenry, Fort McHenry. There's a lot of talent in the minor leagues on this baseball team. I mean, maybe, and you know a lot more about the game than I do and can explain it, but they've got a lot of numbers, do they not?
Yeah, without question. And I think that's a testament to doing a good job in scouting and making sure that you're getting the right people to surround your franchise type players. Because that's what let's face it, that's what the minor leagues is. You're putting guys on the field that are going to be in a position to let your big guys do their job. And as they develop, you're going to get some surprises as well. So the more good, solid baseball players and talent that you have in your organization, that's going to raise everything up ultimately. And that'll certainly help out the big league club as well.
Hey, listen, you and your family, happy, blessed Easter. Thank you so much, and we'll do it again next week, okay?
Look forward to it, and happy Easter to you and your family as well, Rob. Appreciate being with you.
All right, Joe. Thank you so much. Short break. We'll come back. BB Flannery. We're talking college basketball next. Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show with your Pratt Pack. Greg is off today, enjoying the day with his family. Still to come, Coach Donnie Barkley of Seneca Valley, former Green Bay Packer on the draft. And Ted Arnaud will be here as well. Stay with us.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers,
If you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
If you dread dealing with your insurance more than getting stuck in an elevator with an overshare,
bean burrito for lunch.
you have Insuranoia. You should have NJM. They go to great lengths to do what's best for their policyholders. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Pittsburgh is on the clock. Our comprehensive draft coverage is powered by Bowser Chevrolet. It's more than just the players. It's the vibe of the city. Where to go? What to do? We have you covered. It's presented by Target Freight Management and brought to you by your local AAA travel office and by Groundworks, formerly Baker's Waterproofing. On the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 47 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 11:30. I'm Rob Taylor. A woman was trapped underneath a truck following a rollover crash involving a tractor trailer on I-79. This happened Saturday afternoon on the northbound side of 79 near Coriopolis. When first responders arrived, they had to use airbags to lift the truck enough for the woman to be rescued. She was taken to the hospital in stable condition. A man has been sentenced to 15 years in federal prison after being convicted of child pornography charges. 45-year-old Justin Hughes of Pittsburgh was sentenced by a federal judge on Thursday. Authorities say Hughes emailed 11 videos and one image of child porn to a person in Ohio back in 2022. He pleaded guilty in November of last year. Hughes was also ordered to serve 10 years probation. KDK Radio News Time, 11:31. Our next update's at noon. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio KDK.
Hey, folks, it's Marty Griffin. You're going to get help here. What's stopping people from filing bankruptcy? My friend Harold Shepley has the answer.
So many times people, they want to pick up the phone. They know they need help, but they're afraid of losing their car, afraid of losing their house. They're worried about their credit, or they're just simply embarrassed. And bankruptcy helps you keep those things. We can get your credit back in just a few short months. And believe it or not, about half of your friends have already filed bankruptcy.
Check them out at ShepleyLaw.com.
Every family vacation looks different. Maybe this year it's ocean waves in Myrtle Beach. Maybe it's lake mornings in Deep Creek. Maybe it's palm trees and turquoise water in St. Thomas. Wherever your next memory takes you, SWAC Vacation Rentals has the space, comfort, and experiences that bring everybody together. And when you book direct, you get the best homes at the best price without the extra fees. Start planning your next trip at SWAC, SWACK Vacations.com. That's SWACVacations.com.
The biggest reason Metropolitan Window Company has been in business since 1978 is our huge list of satisfied customers.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you're getting expertise and attention to detail from a trusted business that puts your needs first.
You're also getting our exclusive Infinity from Marvin 100% fiberglass windows that are built for life.
The most important part of a window is the framing. Fiberglass frames won't lose their dimensional integrity. They're the strongest, longest-lasting window you can buy.
And right now, you can save 20% and get financing on every window and door product we offer.
Stop by one of our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
Aetna has been my lifesaver. Easy to understand, and if not, customer service is always there to help.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a Best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up with care management that ensures doctors work together on complicated conditions. We show up with the latest in online tools to make healthcare easier to use anytime. We show up for you, because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
This afternoon, we're dry, clouds and peaks of sun, high 51, partly cloudy, low 34 tonight. Could be a shower tomorrow, 51. Morning snow shower, then sunshine Tuesday, high just 40. For AccuWeather, I'm Bill Dager, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, back to it on Monday. Having a great weekend. Colin Dunlap, 2 to 6. I'll catch you on Monday right here, KDK.
BB Flannery is here to talk some college hoops, and I got my sidekick, Rob Taylor, the new Pittsburgh Courier, and also our news anchor here on the weekends, and does an incredible job reporting throughout the week. So we have a lot to get to. So before we get to the men's action, which, of course, is the big-ticket item that everybody can't wait, tomorrow night, UConn, Coach Hurley and company, getting ready to take on Michigan, who was very impressive yesterday. Let's talk some women's hoops coming up today at 3:30. It's Coach Daly, South Carolina, and UCLA. Now, here's what amazes me, gentlemen, with all the history, and you mentioned he's your favorite of all time there, Mr. BB, and that is Coach Wooden. This is the opportunity for the UCLA Bruins women's basketball team to win their first ever women's national basketball championship. So that's kind of hard to believe, is it not, BB Flannery, with that great history out there on the Gold Coast? Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Glad to be here. It was a great weekend of college basketball. And speaking of the women, yes, UCLA with the storied history, and I think they've won 11 championships, and the women have not. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to win today. I think it's going to be a blowout today in the national championship game. And the reason why I feel that way, if you watched the UCLA game yesterday, they had a hard time getting the ball in bounds. Several times they had to call timeout and regroup, and still couldn't get the ball in bounds. And I just think South Carolina's pressure is going to be too much for UCLA to handle today.
Yeah, Joyce Edwards really leading the team as far as points this year. Tough. But, you know, I got to tell you, Rob and BB, I have really become impressed with this Lauren Betts, who's been making a name for herself, averaging just under 18 points a game. So what do you make of the coach who had a few choice words for Gino and kind of backed him down a little bit the other night? By the way, Gino Auriemma has come out and apologized for that heated discussion after their loss to South Carolina. Rob Taylor.
I think it was just way beneath Gino Auriemma. I mean, I don't know why.
Where that came from.
Yeah, where that came from. He was clearly.
She said, hey, here's the words, and I'll clean it up a little bit. I'll beat his. Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I mean, I think, you know, if it's true that he was, quote, mad because he waited for 3 minutes for Don Staley to shake his hand at the pregame warm-up, that's ridiculous. I mean, that's so ridiculous.
But she did, Rob. She did shake his hand. Did you see the clip of her shaking his hand before the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, it was real quick.
Short memory.
Yeah, I mean.
Here's what it is. It's exactly what he did to Pat Summitt, and now she's doing it to him. Sooner or later, you get knocked off the mountain, right, BB?
Absolutely, and Gino, you know, he knows better. Last year when they beat the brakes off of South Carolina last year, and he was dancing around there, but you're going to lose. You know, you can't always win. But the thing I had a problem with is his apology. He said, "I apologize to the staff in South Carolina." I thought Gino could have did a little bit better and said, "Dawn, I want to personally apologize to you personally instead of the staff." It was so generic that I didn't think Gino did a good job handling that situation. Even the apology wasn't good.
And you know, he did all this stuff in person to Don Staley, right? But then when he apologizes, it's on paper. I think he should have come out on video. UConn could have set up a press conference or something.
Picked up the phone.
Or do something visuals so we can really see your how you feel and your actions. Just don't go do all this stuff on Friday, and then the next day, yesterday, Saturday, get something on a piece of paper.
All right, now look, Vegas, Seattle, NBA up next. We all know the glory days of Seattle. I can see that. I still believe Pittsburgh. Nobody wants to buy in on that, so we're not even going to go there with the NBA. But if Toronto, Cleveland, and Philly can get a WNBA team, why can't we have a WNBA team? Then we'll shift to the guys tomorrow night. Go ahead, BB.
I would love to see that. I think a women's team here in Pittsburgh would do well. At least give it a shot. I'd like to see Susie McConnell-Serio be the coach of the team if they have it. So I'm all for it.
Hey,
It'd be great for Pittsburgh.
This Coach Harmony, who's coming to University of Pittsburgh, they named her in March on the 23rd. The CAA Coach of the Year, Charleston, of course, is where she coached. They were 27-6, and she's kind of cut from that same cloth. I was talking to former Pitt Panther Sally Shearer at Gary Bowser's funeral after the viewing, and she said, look, she reminds her a lot of Pat Summitt, too. She's got that grit, so I'm looking forward to University of Pittsburgh Panther basketball. All right, let's move on now. So where do we begin as far as yesterday is concerned? Listening to Coach Hurley after the game, talking about Warriors and how we prepare and what he is on the verge of doing, it's phenomenal. And this Mullins kid, for a freshman, now he only got one bucket in the second half, but I got to tell you, he can definitely drop it from just about anywhere on the perimeter, can he not, BB?
Yes, he can, and he's got ice water in his veins. When you talk about he only had one bucket in the second half, it was the crucial bucket. It was the bucket that kind of solidified the victory. That kid's going to be a heck of a player. He's a heck of a shooter, and he really, he's a good piece for that UConn team.
Hey, how about Michigan, though? And they asked their coach why they put Lindenberg back in. He said, well, did you see what happened to Duke? Your thoughts about, honestly, I picked Arizona, and not to say that I didn't think Michigan could win. And by the way, first time since 1989 on the line for the Wolverines. But where did that come from? They were up by 20, I think, at one time in that game.
Well, I picked Arizona as well, and I
picked Michigan. I picked Michigan.
I know.
Check the tape.
I know. I was going to get to that. You did. You're the lone wolf, man.
Yeah, I mean, if Michigan can make Arizona look like that, then I'm afraid to see what's going to happen tomorrow night for UConn, because Arizona, number one, pretty much the entire season for the most part, with a couple hiccups. But, I mean, Arizona had no shot from the opening tip. They were down big. So if either Arizona had a very bad night or Michigan is just that good.
All right, let's start off with that UConn win. Break it down for us, BB.
UConn, I think UConn this year is, there's sometimes, man, there's a team of destiny. I don't think they'll beat Michigan, but just as far as getting where they got to, if you remember that great Villanova team years ago where they beat Georgetown in the national championship game, it was just a remarkable season. I think that UConn has a heck of a team with Mullins, that Sola, I forget Sola's last name. Alex Caravan, and then All-American Terrace Reed. So they have a good team. They're a little small, other than Caravan for Michigan, but they play as a unit. They're interchangeable pieces. And Bobby Hurley, not Bobby Hurley,
Danny.
But Coach Hurley.
Yep.
He's the piece, man. If anybody could beat Michigan and get those guys ready to play Michigan, it's Coach Hurley.
Yeah, and BB, if UConn defeats Michigan, I really believe we're looking at one of the greatest college basketball teams in the past 20 years. Because if Michigan can crush Arizona like that, and Michigan has very good interior defense, and they can also shoot the three, and UConn can beat them, then you really got to start talking about UConn being one of the best college basketball teams in the 2000s here.
So I'm the only one that. Go ahead, BB. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Absolutely. And the Michigan team, is, like I said, big, strong, and fast. But that Cadian, that point guard,
ooh, he's smooth.
If he plays well, he's the engine that makes them go. If they're running on a high octane, people forget about that Ellie and Caden, but he makes that Michigan team go.
All right, so because I'm the one that likes to exaggerate and come up with all sorts of crazy scenarios. So this thing will be over, and Billy Donovan said he's going to wait till the bowl season is over. And right now, that seems to be the person that North Carolina is looking at. Do you think they at least, especially if they lose, could Coach Hurley be even considered for them trying to do a buyout or something crazy, or is he at UConn unless he ends up? The Lakers wanted him, after 2024, and he said no to that. Do you think that's highly unlikely, and do you think maybe there is a possibility he could end up negotiating some sort of deal for a king's ransom to leave UConn? Go ahead. You first, BB.
I wouldn't. As Rob said, this is one of the best programs of this decade. Why not stay there? It's not like they can't, rebuild and do replenish and do it again. He's in a great situation. They love him in UConn. He's winning national championships. He's been to 4 Final Fours or in the last 5 years, or 3 Final Fours in the last 4 years, with a chance to win it this year. Unless he just wants another challenge, and maybe they could, pull up a Brinks truck to his house, and that might sway him. But as far as a coaching situation, I can't see him leaving UConn.
And there's another thing to bring up, Rob and BB. If you look at the TV ratings for like the college basketball national championship and then the NBA finals, obviously the NBA finals have more games, but when you look at it head to head, the national championship for college basketball, they're getting about 22 million viewers. NBA finals is getting about, 15 million viewers per game. People know Dan Hurley. He doesn't have to go to the NBA to be, to be super famous or something like that. People know who he is. He doesn't have to go to the NBA just to present another challenge.
Boy, he is old school, though, man. He is old. That whole Hurley family, his dad, of course, Bobby, just absolutely love it. Okay, when we come back, X and O's breaking down the national championship game. And by the way, Michigan is a slight favorite. Going in, not a big favorite, slight favorite, slight favorite, according to those who lay the law and the line down in Las Vegas. We'll come back. BB Flannery and Rob Taylor, New Pittsburgh Courier. Tell them what you're going to be doing for the draft as far as Bill Nunn, and we'll go to break. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're going to have a big spread on the front page about the impact that Bill Nunn, the former managing editor and sports editor of the Courier, had on the NFL draft in the early 70s draft, helping the Steelers find so many outstanding black players from the HBCUs, such as John Stallworth, Mel Blount, and others. So we'll definitely be showing love to Bill Nunn on our front page on April 22nd, the day before the draft.
Amen.
Well deserved.
Yep. And by the way, you can pick it up at the Beulah Road in the Highwood Street location of Coons Market, or be like me, get it delivered to your house, because it is all about our city, the New Pittsburgh Courier. Back with BB and Rob in just a moment. Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show with your Pratt Pack, KDKA.
We're only 18 days until the draft. Everything you need to know surrounding the draft is right here. It's brought to you by Bill Few Associates Wealth Management, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
I'm with Joe Potocznik from JP Roofing and Siding, a platinum preferred contractor from Owens Corning. Joe, what does that mean?
It's an elite status. We earn that by using Owens Corning products to qualify for the platinum preferred warranty. That's a 50-year warranty on the materials and 25-year on the labor, 100%.
That's the upper 1% in America after 45 years, Joe. Congratulations.
Thank you, Larry.
Call JP Roofing and Siding, 412-829-7711.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
Former Green Bay Packer coach Donnie Barkley of Seneca Valley, a graduate of that school, will join us to talk the NFL draft. And I'm going to talk about some of the old-time Pitt Panthers who entered the pro football draft and have done rather well for themselves. And the list will absolutely amaze you. But right now we're talking college hoops. I want to thank B.B. Flannery, a basketball legend, Valley High School, Duquesne, been joining us the last couple of weeks. Always great to have him along with my bud. He, of course, the anchor on the weekends at the news desk, reporter during the week, but the managing editor, the guy that gets it done with that paper that I love, the New Pittsburgh Courier. So, okay, here's some things to think about. Big game tomorrow night. Michigan, a slight favorite. Can Dusty May overcome Dan Hurley's Huskies? Key matchups include Michigan's defense against Terrace Reed, somebody that BB just mentioned, and the potential impact of fatigue following that win against UConn, over Illinois, something Coach Hurley talked about in the post-game. Said, look, we got to take tomorrow, get a bit of a breather, and then get right back at it, meaning today. So they are back at it for sure, but trying to get a little bit of R&R because they're definitely going to need it. That was a hard-fought win. Right now, UConn defeated Illinois 71-62, where they are 30-0 run, and discipline as far as their defense is concerned. Michigan defeated Arizona 91-73 by dominating the paint and the transition game. So, BB, you first, break it down X and O's, and obviously you think Michigan will win, but how do you think they will get to that winner's circle? Go ahead.
Well, I think you mentioned it, Rob. You mentioned fatigue. I think UConn, they beat Duke with that buzzer beater. It had to go the distance, and then also emotions with the buzzer beater, and then they beat Illinois. So they may be tired. They had a tough road to hoe getting into the finals. And then I just think Michigan is just too big and too fast and too strong. I think that UConn, they need to limit their turnovers because you don't want to give Michigan extra possessions. They got to make their three-pointers. They've been making them all tournament. And if they hit those will help them keep them in the game. But I think that Dave Mara, he's got big, strong hands. He's got hands like Jerry Rice. He can catch anything and put it in the basket. He's 7 foot tall. Then you got Yexel Lindenberg. I just think they're too big for Terrace Reed. They don't have to double team him because they're just so big. And I think UConn has to play a flawless game, much like I said Villanova did against Georgetown many years ago to beat Michigan. I just think Michigan's just that good. And a 7-point, if I might add, a 7-point. They're 7-point favorites in the championship game. That's a pretty hefty margin of victory.
All right, so Day Mara had 30 points in 26 minutes in that win against Arizona, so he was a difference maker for sure. 90 points they have scored in the last 5, so they have high octane potential for sure. Rob, how do you like this thing ending?
Well, as an Ohio State graduate, it's hard for me to say that I think this is Michigan's year when it comes to the basketball arena. I think you can't teach height, you can't teach size. Michigan, even on a bad day, they're going to get a lot of buckets in and around, the paint area, getting rebounds, offensive, defensive. So as BB said, UConn's going to have to shoot just lights out, number one. And number two, Michigan's already going to be able to get you on the inside. So barring, Michigan getting into a lot of foul trouble, this is going to be Michigan's game to win.
BB, I got to ask you because back in the day, we're a couple of old school guys. I've always loved Chris Webber and that crew, the Fab Five. Do you ever think about them? And obviously, they're going to be talking about them a lot over the next 24, 48 hours. To have that kind of talent on a team, all that age at one time, man, that's like an anomaly. That may never happen in my lifetime again, but especially with name, image, and likeness and the transfer portal. But that was really special back in the day, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. I mean, anytime you got 5 freshmen to go to the Final Four 2 years in the final game, that was an absolutely amazing team. I know some people were comparing this Michigan team to that Michigan team. They were talking about who is the better team and who's the best Michigan team of all time if they win. I think it's just different eras. So I hate to compare who's the best in a player of all time or who's the best team of all time. But that Fab Five team was in the conversation for definitely the greatest youngest team, but certainly one of the best teams of all time.
Robbie, go ahead. Final thought.
It's been a very great basketball tournament. But like you said, Michigan, I think, just has too much in this contest. Dan Hurley, I think he needs to stay at UConn, keep building. And in the era of NIL, I think this is I don't want to say that it's professional basketball, but it almost kind of feels like if you're paying players these days in college basketball, I think Dan Hurley needs to stay where he's at, win or lose, and just Michigan's year.
All right, we got to take care of the hometown team. So, Coach Joyce, and then what's it going to take for them to win the Atlantic 10 in my lifetime and get the Dukes back into this tournament? We'll end on that note, and we'll again say thank you to BB Flannery. Go ahead, BB.
I want to say 2 things real quick. It's going to take almost a miracle to get them back. Their best player coming back, Jimmy Williams, is in the transfer portal as well. So their 2 best players were the guard, Ginyard, and now Jimmy Williams is leaving, and they graduate 4 seniors. So it's going to be a rebuild for them. But I really want to say, if you don't mind me saying, Rob, I'm having a free basketball camp at Penn Hills on May 30th for grades 5 to 9. And we're going to have some legends come back and help me out. Ricky Coleman, Bruce Atkins, Sam Clancy, Billy Varner, Benji Pryor right now. And we're adding to the list, but a free camp at Penn Hills High School, 8 to 3 o'clock on May 30th.
Benji Pryor. These are some classic names, man. Good stuff. BB, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You outshined. You just did an incredible job. I appreciate you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed myself.
All right. Listen, isn't it nice to kind of go back in time and get somebody who can not only deliver when they play, but he never did it before, and Greg said he can do it. Man, he hit it out of the park, man. He touched them all.
Yeah, hey, BB Flannery, great on the court, a great analyst. I mean, we got to keep him on the show for when we talk basketball around here.
All right, so you guys got a lot of things cooking in that new Pittsburgh Courier. I got 30 seconds, so you're going to be all over this draft.
I can't wait. I think we've got about a team of about 10 to 15 people who are either going to be, just covering different events. Of course, we're going to be down at the draft, up in the photo pit, getting the photos of each draft each draft person who, of course, is drafted into the NFL. And we're just going to be everywhere, all the way from Smithfield Street, all the way around downtown, South Side, North Side. It's just going to be an amazing thing for the city, and we've got to document it.
All right, sounds good. And don't forget Odyssey Radio Row, all of us, KDK 93.7 a fan, Y108 Star 100.7. We'll have you covered for that upcoming NFL draft. Back to talk the draft with Coach Donnie Barkley next on KDKA.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 47 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 12 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. The Washington County coroner says a person died in a wrong-way crash Saturday. That crash happened around 6 o'clock in the evening in Donegal Township. The driver was going the wrong way in the westbound lane of Route 40 at speeds up to or over 80 miles per hour. That's when the driver collided head-on with an SUV near the intersection with Lake Road. Driver was pronounced dead at around 9:15. The first driver at a local hospital. State police investigating the crash. Department of Homeland Security says ICE agents arrested 13 people outside of a PennDOT driver's license center in Armstrong County. This happened on Friday, the arrests. DHS says ICE responded to calls from the East Franklin police because of a, quote, abnormally large amount of individuals outside the driver's license center in Katanning. Those arrested were from countries including Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Turkmenistan. DHS, which referred to those arrested as, quote, illegal aliens, end quote, said one of the suspects resisted arrest and assaulted a local officer. The incident is under investigation. Pittsburgh police have filed criminal attempted homicide and aggravated assault charges against a woman accused of shooting a man in Larmer last Monday. Police say 36-year-old Latasha Thorne shot a man while he was holding a child along Mayflower Street. The man who was shot is still recovering. The child was not injured. Criminal complaint says after Thorne fired shots, someone fired shots at her, but she was not hit. Right now, Thorne is still at large. A woman was trapped underneath a truck following a rollover crash involving a tractor-trailer on I-79. This happened on Saturday afternoon on the northbound side of 79 near Coriopolis. First responders used airbags to lift the truck enough for the woman to be rescued. She was taken to the hospital in stable condition. KDK Sports, Pirates looking for the sweep over the Baltimore Orioles today. 1:35 is the first pitch at PNC Park. You can hear the game on 93.7 The Fan. KDK Radio News Time, 12:02. The AccuWeather forecast coming up next.
In 1945, my grandparents made sausage using the finest ingredients and a lot of love. I'm Ernie Ritchie. After 80 years, the recipe never changed. Visit our store and celebrate our 80th anniversary. Ritchie's Italian Sausage. It's what Pittsburgh eats since 1945.
Are you turning 65 and have questions about Medicare? Aetna has Medicare Advantage plans that include prescription drug coverage in Pennsylvania with a $0 monthly plan premium. Plus, the plans include benefits like dental, vision, and hearing. You may also qualify for a monthly credit toward your Part B premium. Call Aetna today at 1-888-76-AETNA to learn more.
Aetna Medicare is an HMO PPO plan with a Medicare contract. Our D-SNPs also have contracts with state Medicaid programs. Enrollment in our plans depends on contract renewal. Plan features and availability may vary by service area.
Is there constantly someone in the family fighting a cold? Fight back with Sniper, a hospital-grade disinfectant that kills viruses and bacteria, and it won't hurt your skin, your pets, or our environment. Hi, this is Larry Richard. Get Sniper. It's safe to use in your home and office. Simply spray and walk away to kill germs for maximum protection. Pick up a bottle of Sniper at your local True Value store or visit disinfectwithsniper.com. Get it now.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
This afternoon, we'll be drying out, clouds and a few peaks of sun. Brisk and cool, high 51. Partly cloudy, low 34 tonight. Could be a shower tomorrow, 51. Morning snow shower on Tuesday. For AccuWeather, I'm Bill Dager, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition. And brought to you by Leon's Billiards and more.
Donnie Barkley, the head football coach and alum of Seneca Valley, former Green Bay Packer and NFL offensive lineman, joins us for a couple of quick segments today. Greg is off, back with us next week, enjoying the holiday with friends and family. Still to come, Ted Arnaud. And by the way, the coach joins us now on the Metropolitan Window video screen. You can click on kdkradio.com and click on KDK Watch. Coach, good to have you here. And the offensive line position keeps coming up with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So before I throw out some names and some needs, how do you build an offensive line? Outside in, inside out? Good afternoon. How do you do it?
Good afternoon, Rob. Happy Easter, man. To be honest with you, I mean, I think the biggest threat nowadays is these defensive ends. So I think you get these tackles secured, which I love the pick by the Steelers their rookie last year. I think he's a guy that could be on an island out there. Then I think you kind of move in as you go along. I mean, these guards are different guards as they were 20, 30, 40 years ago. They're blocking superior pass rushers on the inside. They bring in these guys on third downs as well, so they got to be pretty nimble. But I think taking care of the outside first as well, and they're pretty anchored at the center position. They got a stud there, so I think outside in is the route to take.
So one of the other things that this draft is top-heavy with, there are some really stud linebackers. So what's an offensive lineman's position when it comes to protecting his quarterback, when it comes to these linebackers who are athletic, strong, and obviously can run a 4.5, if not better, 40? What do you do when you're an offensive lineman trying to stop one of these very multi-talented hybrids that are linebackers in the National Football League? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think just the repetitions day to day. It's always nice to face a guy that could give you the speed and the power. So then you're used to it come a game time. I mean, if you face a guy that's kind of one dimensional, you can prepare all week for that. But if a guy's speed and power, he's got everything. You're in for a long day. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's the NFL. You're probably seeing that 9 out of 10 times. It's at some point, your techniques that you really do day in, day out have to pay off, and you got to rely on those, and you got to trust them. That will pay dividends in the end. And, like I said, these guys are they're a different breed than they were. But at the same breath, these linemen are a different breed. This lineman class and for this year is a deep draft class. I was reviewing it the other day. I mean, it's a lot of tackles to pick from. And a couple of these guys, I think, might surprise you where they end up further than another guy. So, I mean, you could look at it both ways, Rob. It's a deep lineman class that has to prepare to protect these most lethal pass rushers.
So they have said that even Fatanu could switch over to left tackle. Who knows about Broderick Jones, his future? But some of the names that are out there, Spencer Fano, of course, offensive tackle, Utah, frequently listed as a top tackle prospect with high potential. But then you really get into where size matters. Caden Proctor out of Bama, physically dominant tackle prospect, 6'7", 366 pounds. You've got Monroe Freeling out of Georgia, recognized as a high upside offensive tackle. And also Enrique Cruz, he too out of one of these athletes that a lot of people are looking at to do big things as well too. Another offensive lineman. So a couple of Georgia guys there. But when you're talking 6'7", and it's one of the positions on the field that you have to know the offense and playbook as well, if not better in some cases than the quarterback himself. But 6'7", how do you even attack something like that? And you have to be a quarterback who has that 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" frame when you're back in that pocket to be able to see over that offensive line. That's staggering. I mean, I think about Darnell Washington, who they were considering maybe moving to tackle, kind of like Larry Brown from the glory days of the Steelers in the 70s, who became a successful right tackle for the Steelers. But, man, the size we're talking about is like Marvel comic book stuff. I mean, this is amazing.
These guys are big. I mean, I was very average in size, Rob. Being 6'4", 10, 315-ish, I was very average. These guys, you walk in the room now, they're, like you said, 6'7", 340, 350. I don't know where they come from. And like you did note about QBs, I remember back to my days, I was with the Saints for camp my 7th year, and I couldn't believe Drew Brees to be in the same room as him, and for him to barely be maybe touching 6 foot. I don't know if he was.
That's questionable.
So, I mean, it's questionable. So, like, how in the heck is he seeing above guys that are 6'4", 6'5", 6'6"? It always pays off to be tall. That's why I think some of these great quarterbacks are 6'3", 6'4", 6'5"-ish. But, yeah, I mean, you're speaking to a guy like Proctor. I like him, though, because you look at him, probably some of the most superior pass rushers come from the SEC. He played some of those guys as well in the playoffs, some of them even more superior guys. A guy like him, he might not be the top 1 or 2 right now, but he's faced the elite speed and power. He is big. I'd like him to maybe trim up and drop from that 360 number, because in my opinion, you don't really need to be that. I'd rather speed than be a little more lethargic. But a guy like him, I'm interested to see how high he climbs in this draft.
The other thing, and you're a good example, you're in tip-top shape now, but even as a player, I've often said a lot of that strength comes from your core. You don't see many of these offensive line with their Dunlap disease, meaning their belly's Dunlapped over their belt. I mean, these guys, they got a core, and that's very important when you play that position. So I think you can be hefty, but you can be healthy, but not obese. Go ahead.
Oh, I mean, it's the schedule and regime nowadays that these strength coaches put you through is phenomenal. I mean, the science behind it, you're not going into it blind, not really trusting someone. They have this down to a science. Programs cut up to a T, your diet. I mean, anymore, it's very rare to find a guy that's kind of a high projected pick to kind of look a little sloppy. These guys are guys that are, they put in the work. You could tell that they've stuck to the program. They stuck to the regime. And then, that's why you don't see many bellies hanging over like you did maybe years ago. But, I mean, I'm not saying that doesn't mean you're good.
Right.
I played with a bunch of guys, all pros that looked a little bit more sloppier. But I think as far as that tackle position, you could tell these guys are shaping out a little differently.
See, this is just my opinion, and I'd have to ask Doc Pat DeMeo, my good friend, the head of orthopedics and team physician of the Pirates. But, I got to believe it's distributed better. It really is better as far as your joints are concerned, because a lot of these guys like yourself end up losing 50 to 75 pounds when they hang up their chin strap. But if you have it more distributed, you have a better chance of keeping your knees and ankles and other joints healthy. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it always hurts when you pack on a little bit too much, maybe too quick, and then it does put a little bit more stress on those joints. Obviously, when you're done playing, if you could shave off some of that unneeded weight, that always helps. Speaking of Doc DeMeo, I'm seeing him tomorrow. I got to go visit him for my shoulder.
Well, tell him I mentioned.
Seriously.
Tell him I mentioned his name on the radio. Maybe he'll buy me dinner one night or something. Yeah,
I will.
Listen, we've known each other for 30 years. We've walked 1,000 miles and more. He's the best of the best. I love him like a brother. Okay, why do I keep hearing these pundits talk about must need for the Steelers center? I thought this Frazier out of West Virginia is the future. I mean, why would anybody want to replace this guy? Am I missing something here?
That's insane. Zach Frazier, a stud. not just saying that because he's a former Mountaineer, and I love them. Obviously, I'm alumni there. That dude is a stud. And not only that, coaches and executives in those buildings wish to have a guy like that guy. Perfect. Like, he is a great man, good dad, good husband, hell of a player.
And by the way,
that's what you want.
That current West Virginia guy, Rodriguez, he and DeMayo are related. You realize that?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he did tell me that when we spoke on the phone. That's right.
Yeah, man. It's all in the family. So some other things as far as the Steelers' needs are concerned. And this is that center that came up again, and I just saw it. And by the way, I highly urge everyone to pick this up. I got my copy, USA Today 2026 Draft Guide, because we're going to be talking a lot about the draft here, and I'll be doing a lot of on-location stuff with my social media platform. But offensive tackle, cornerback, wide receiver, I don't see wide receiver being a priority anymore. But what do you really think the Steelers, Omar Khan and company, are starting to drill down on right now? And they got 12 picks, most since 1999, so they can, shuffle the deck a little bit. Go ahead, Coach.
Well, you know me, I'm a little biased. I do think we attack the offensive line first round. That's kind of my starting point. You solidify a good future. I think you do take an outside guy, like we've been saying, a tackle. Those guys, you tend to kind of move all over the place if you need to. Maybe a tackle guard, if you will. I do think you draft like a guard to push Spencer, maybe for some competition later on in the draft. So after I'd take an O lineman round one, I think from that point it all depends on this QB position, where they're willing to go on this. Obviously, I'm not in the building in those talks, but I think that's another area you need to address early, if it need be. To pair with the O line foundation, I think you take someone on the D line early. I think that's building that foundation. You got a guy like Cam. He's a little older. Let's back a guy up and learn from him.
The other thing too, and it's all about what's going on between the ears, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised, even if they're talking a lot about it and fueling the fire a little bit, priming the pump, try to get the fire in the belly of Broderick Jones going in the right direction, because he's got a lot of upside. He's just got to relax, pin his shoulders back, and get it done. You think maybe this might be them kind of saying, look, if you can't, we're going to move on, so you better figure it out. That's been known to happen, has it not?
100%. I mean, I think that's the conversation that needed to be had when he had his exit meeting at postseason. It's like, hey, you're either going to buy in, get on board, and we're going to figure this out, and you're going to be a heck of a player. And there's going to be someone coming in to give you a little competition, but that's healthy. That needs to happen every year. And I think that conversation was probably had, but I think Broderick is very talented, and he could get the job done. Just does he want to be there?
All right, so we got to mention West Virginia 3 times in this interview, so I get to talk to the University of Pittsburgh. I'm going to keep you for one more segment. Greg is off today. But I'm going to mention some of these names that have graduated from the University of Pittsburgh who have gone on to play in the NFL. I'm only going to throw a couple out, but I want to get your thoughts, because you being a former professional football player and a coach at the high school level, some of them actually played high school right here in Western Pennsylvania. I don't care what anyone says about any of these great schools, and West Virginia happens to be one. A lot of connections to that school with yours truly during my days doing some play-by-play in West Virginia and Ohio. But make no mistake about it, our University of Pittsburgh has sent some of the best talent to play on Sundays. He's Coach Don Barkley. He's from Seneca Valley, where he graduated, former NFL lineman, West Virginia Mountaineer. Was so grateful to have him up until that draft Sunday in just a couple of weeks here on KDKA and the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. We'll be right back.
News, weather, traffic, and business every day. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
When you're handling an estate or an inherited home, the decisions can feel overwhelming. At Homebuyers of Pittsburgh, we help families through this every single week. We make a quick, fair cash offer on the home, coordinate any cleanouts, help you through the process, and we'll buy it in its current condition. No pressure, no surprises. Visit homebuyersoftpittsburgh.com or call 412-500-9057 for help selling today. That's 412-500-9057 for help selling today.
Homebuyers of Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh's local trusted homebuyers since 2015.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
I'm talking with John Diagardi of Rome Monument about something he feels people should avoid. John, can you elaborate?
I sure can, Rob. When a loved one passes, their spouse and relatives are under stress. They feel pressure to get things taken care of quickly.
Is that not a good idea?
Not when it comes to the monument. Rob, when the funeral is over, when everyone goes home, the monument is the one thing that is permanent. 50, even 100 years from now, that monument will still be there. Families need to take time to make decisions about the best way to memorialize their loved one.
John, how can families avoid making a costly mistake?
People shouldn't make quick decisions under stress that they'll regret later. For over 80 years, Rome Monument has helped thousands of families create a lasting tribute to their loved ones. And when you're ready, Rome Monument will be there.
Great advice, John. Friends, visit one of Rome Monument's 9 showrooms or learn more at romemonuments.com.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
Coach Barkley, of course, Seneca Valley, where he graduated from. Yes, the new guy out there doing some cool things with that football team. Also, West Virginia grad, former NFL lineman. So we are going to do WVU for you too, Coach. So I'm not going to leave you out in the cold. Let's talk about some of these players. This is what absolutely amazes me, and it also makes me wonder why my beloved Panthers can't win more and be in that top 25 on a regular basis, because the talent has been obviously plenty through the years. But think about it. Dan Marino, Aaron Donald, Larry Fitzgerald, Tony Dorsett, Darrelle Revis, Tony Saragusa, throw in another lineman, defensive lineman. I mean, that's just a few, and I'm sure you have some.
And Donald.
Yes. I mean, I mentioned Aaron Donald. I mean, think about the talent that has come out of Sean Gilbert, out of University of Pittsburgh. It's staggering, is it not?
It's amazing. I mean, that list of names there alone covers multiple decades, and playing against some of those guys as well is pretty special. But like when you name some of those guys, I mean, that's a crazy list of some high profile names, gold jackets. I mean, it is very impressive. And you know when you go to those games on the weekend there at Pitt and you see those guys in the rafters, I mean, it's something to be, it's a scene to be seen.
All right, now to your beloved WVU. I have a 35-year-old son who I just sent a text message to, who has 3 children, and he is the mirror image of a alum. If you would see my son, you would swear it was this person, Pat McAfee, okay? I mean, my son Tyler, look him up on Facebook. I'm telling you, cut from the same cloth. Although he's a jiu-jitsu master, I think he'd give Pat a run for his money. But I love Pat, but I love WVU. But guess who my favorite WVU player of all time is? And it
Major Harris.
I like Major Harris, but no, Pac-Man Jones.
Pac-Man, wow.
Listen.
I never would have thought that.
What an athlete. Because of some of the things that happened off the field, which we've all had a moment or two, not all of us have our communion money like you, okay? So we've all done a few things we wish we could go back and change, but I haven't done anything wrong in 20 years. I'm on the straight and narrow. But I watched him with Pat run a 40-yard dash at his age now, and I think he did it at like 4.4, 4.5. That guy's a stud. What kind of player? I mean, obviously I know him from the Bengals, but was he that? I mean, I remember some of the statistics, but I was busy working 10 jobs back then. But he's got to be a legend at WVU.
He is. When he comes back, he's, it's a special moment. He actually does come back quite a bit. I never played with Pac-Man, but when he does come into town, it's a big deal. A lot of people really enjoy his presence. Kind of guys from that decade and that era that he played with. I mean, you're talking the guy at White, Steve Sladen, those kind of guys. I kind of golf that's and very well respected. And Pat was had a deep impact. So I'm kind of put him on the map right before I got to school there.
All right, here's another from way back when, and I don't remember him as a player, but I love NFL films, and he was the first player to ever be mic'd up in an NFL game. The legend of Sam Huff. Do they still talk about him down there?
Oh, so much. I mean, he was the guy whenever I was in school there. I mean, it was like, do you want to be as good as Sam Huff? Sam Huff was the toughest guy. He was gritty, represented WVU, and to a T. They always talked about him when I was in school.
Listen, I've covered them all. I just got out by the time you were making your way through the high school ranks, but Mark Bolger was one I remember, and obviously his sister in basketball. Mark Bolger turned out to be a really good football player, did he not, at the NFL level?
Great football player. I mean, he had a great college career, but I think his pro career even spoke better for him. Heck of a guy, too. Gives back his time. Yeah, nothing but good things to say about Mark.
Listen, we weren't doing fist bumps back then. We were high-fiving, and I remember when watching this guy with
chest bumps down in Morgantown.
There you go.
Come on, Rob.
Or burning.
That's a rich preach. Chest bumps.
or burning a couch, but we won't get into that. But listen, my children's mother went there, and I hear that place. I've never been to Morgantown, but they say when the Mountaineers are doing well and it's homecoming, it's spectacular. It's one of the nicest and greatest atmospheres in all of college football. A lot of people say if you loved Ohio State, if you've been to Columbus, where that's like the big ticket in town, it's the same thing in Morgantown with the Mountaineer football team. Would you agree with that?
It's 100% very similar to Ohio State. It's kind of, I know Ohio is a little bit bigger and, more populated, but Columbus doesn't have the pro team. That is the pro team, just like Morgantown. It's a lot of pride there. And every time I talk about it and in this kind of setting, it always gives me chills because it gave me so much there. And that place, like they love the people that play for WVU. They cherish everything and literally people that don't have anything, football games on the weekend, to just enjoy and buy into that atmosphere.
That's great. But the player I was talking about high-fiving was Jeff Hostetler. I've always liked the big Hoss. Still talking about him, I'm sure, right?
Oh, yeah. No, he's a great man. Definitely had the lucky presence of running into him and talking with him and doing some engagements in the community. He's given a lot back to Morgantown and that hospital right across the road from the stadium. So Jeff's a great man, plus had a heck of a career as well, but even a better person.
Last thing before I let you go, and you'll be back with us next week, and I'm very grateful, and I hope you and your family have a blessed and happy Easter, and enjoy those little ones because they don't stay little very long, man. I wish I could go. I wish there was a way back machine, and I'd step right into it right now. But listen, why'd you end up at WVU? What was the difference maker?
You know what it was, Rob? So I was, trust me, Pitt was right there.
Yeah.
My high school teammate went to Pitt, Kevin Smith. He was a quarterback a year before me, and I'd go down there every single weekend that he would go down for a recruiting trip or just to check up on his meetings with Pitt when he was a senior, just heading down for a junior day or a senior day. Pitt was Pitt was rising at the time. WVU was thriving a little bit more. Now, granted, I did have an uncle that played at WVU back in the late 70s. However, it wasn't like, that was the reason why I went there. What WVU had going on at the time with Rich Rodriguez and the staff and just the atmosphere he was bringing down there was electric. And it's ultimately what sold me. The coaches and the players in that team, I don't care what anyone says, I committed to WVU because of Rich Rodriguez.
And believe me, he's going to do it again, too. All right, listen, thank you. Enjoy the holiday, and much appreciated, okay?
Thanks, Rob. Happy Easter, man.
All right, there he goes.
I'll see you.
You bet. Coach Barkley, of course, Seneca Valley grad, WVU grad. Ted Arnaud takes us home to the top of the hour right after Rob Taylor checks the news next.
Y108 presents Odyssey, The Night Before, powered by Bowser Chevrolet, starring Jason Aldean.
Hey, what's up, Pittsburgh? I'm Jason Aldean.
With special guests John Morgan and Shane Prophet. Wednesday, April 22nd, inside the Event Center at Rivers Casino, Pittsburgh.
Y'all say we have a little bit of fun. Y'all ready?
You can't buy a ticket to this show. You can only win your way in. Full details at y108.com. Presented by Miller Lite and brought to you by your local AAA travel office, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, Ross Park Mall, and Broken Bow Records.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 47 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 12:30. I'm Rob Taylor. Pittsburgh police say a car crashed into the side of a home on the north side. This happened Saturday night around 11:15. It happened in the 600 block of Danbury Street in the Perry South neighborhood. That part of that house caught on fire. That fire was put out. No injuries were reported. Pittsburgh police have filed criminal attempted homicide and aggravated assault charges against a woman accused of shooting a man in Larimer last Monday. Police say 36-year-old Latasha Thorne shot a man while he was holding a child along Mayflower Street. The man who was shot is still recovering. The child not injured. Criminal complaint says after Thorne fired shots, someone fired shots at her. She was not hit, though. Right now, Thorne is still at large. KDKA Radio News Time, 12:31. Next updates at 1. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh. News Radio KDKA.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today.
Dial 877-WEB-NOW-1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Hi, Paul Alexander here to let you know that KDKA has planned a fabulous 5-day Arizona getaway this September, and it's filling up fast. My wife, Shelley, and I want you to join us for an unforgettable trip based in beautiful Flagstaff, a relaxed mountain town that makes the perfect home base. From there, we'll explore the incredible red rocks of Sedona, travel by rail to the breathtaking Grand Canyon, a bucket list spot that everyone needs to see at least once. And then we'll take in the stunning scenery around Lake Powell with its deep blue water and wide open views. It's the perfect mix of sightseeing, natural beauty, and plenty of time to just enjoy where we are. And September is truly the sweet spot. Comfortable weather, no summer crowds, and everything planned for you. No guessing, no stress. Just show up and enjoy Arizona. Space is limited. Seats are disappearing quickly. Visit travelwithkdk.com or call 800-383-3131. Again, travel with KDK.com or call 800-383-3131. Can't wait to see you there.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
This afternoon, we're dry, clouds and peaks of sun, high 51, partly cloudy, low 34 tonight. Could be a shower tomorrow, 51. Morning snow shower, then sunshine Tuesday, high just 40. For AccuWeather, I'm Bill Dager, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, back to it on Monday. Having a great weekend. Colin Dunlap, 2 to 6. I'll catch you on Monday right here, KDK.
All right, Rob Taylor back for a command performance. So I thought we'd have a little fun in this segment and talk about some of the biggest bust in the history of the NFL draft. And I won't take it that far back because you're a youngster. But maybe the biggest at quarterback, but he's turned out after a rough go to be a pretty good commentator. Ryan Leaf. Remember Ryan Leaf, the second overall player taken at quarterback by the Chargers in 1998? Ryan Leaf.
Well, it's interesting you said he's turned out to be a pretty good commentator. Well, there weren't any drafts for commentators. It was all about the quarterbacks. For me, I don't care if he turns into the next John Madden as a commentator. He was a huge bust, and he went before Peyton Manning, right?
He did.
Yeah, so Indianapolis lucked out on that one, and that was a big bust. I remember that. That was I think junior in high school or senior in high school. Yeah, that was a bust.
1989, we moved forward 1 year at offensive tackle. The second overall player taken by the Green Bay Packers, the big fella, Tony Mandarich. You don't remember him?
No, I don't remember him.
Believe me, he was a piece of work. Now, back at quarterback, let's go to 2007. And I thought this guy was going to be all-world at quarterback for the Raiders.
Jamarcus
Russell. The guy could throw it out of the stadium.
For LSU?
What in the world? And he made a ton of money.
I thought he was going to be great, too. I think what it really was about, he just didn't have the mental, just wanting to really be great, and work at it. I don't think he had that ethic.
All right, we move forward now to 2021. At quarterback for the 49ers, another big guy, Trey Lance.
Yes.
I think he's back up now in Dallas, maybe, but he might have been cut.
I think so, he just, sometimes it's hit or miss. When we think about this upcoming NFL draft, I don't know if I'm stealing your thunder, but every time I think about the NFL draft, I think of when I used to live in Dayton, and people were thinking about the Bengals and Browns, and they drafted Johnny Manziel.
Oh. And he finally has got it together, but you know what? He came from a family who had money and oil and probably silver spoon, never told no, and he went off the rails. And you know what's so sad? I've heard him and seen him in so many interviews, and they've even done docs on the guy, okay? The thing he says over and over, if I could do it all over again. Because he had God gift. He was a great football player, beloved in Texas. Now, here's another quarterback who did not pan out. Second overall taken 2021, Zach Wilson by the New York Jets.
Oh, yeah, I remember him. Yeah. It just didn't work out. I remember watching him on some of the interviews on some of our sister stations in New York, The Fan in New York, and he had the right attitude. He wanted to work hard. It just didn't work out. It just turned out didn't have the talent.
So tell me what happened with the 11th overall pick in 2021, a guy that you know all about out of the Ohio State Buckeyes. To this day, I can't figure it out. When he came to Pittsburgh, I thought, this is it. Signed, sealed, and delivered long-term, and now he's a backup for Patrick Mahomes, Justin Fields. What happened there? You know what you're saying, if I knew that.
Here's the thing. He wasn't that bad. I don't know if it sometimes when you're at Ohio State and universities like that, you're put into a system and you've got so much great talent around you that you just go on the field and you're better than 95% of the teams you play, so you just look absolutely wonderful. But when you get into the NFL, everybody is pretty much, quote, an all-star, top-of-the-line college player in the NFL. So when you get into those situations, now you start to understand just how much harder you have to work, how much more film study you have to put in. And for Justin Fields, I think that's what caught up to him, where I think he had the agility, the speed, the arm strength. But it takes more than that to be a successful quarterback. And that's why the Steelers, in my opinion, keeping Aaron Rodgers, because they keep thinking, well, hey, where else are we going to find a future Hall of Fame quarterback?
Listen, I'm beyond him. And I love Aaron Rodgers, but enough's enough. I'm ready to go with Will Howard. And if we sink, there's a lot of good quarterbacks coming out next year. They said that some of these teams are already, Rob, preparing for 2027.
Already.
All right, a couple of more things. Speaking of the Jets, now this player you probably don't remember because, well, you might. I mean, 1996, I don't know, where were you at in 96? You were out of college then?
No, I was a freshman in high school.
Okay.
Sophomore.
In high school?
Yeah, 96.
Man, oh man, I got to get some Grecian or something. These gray hairs are starting to show. Anyway, tremendous talent, but he had a lot of problems, addiction issues, ended up in prison. When the Jets actually traded for the opportunity, they made a few deals too, that draft. But this guy ended up with the Los Angeles Rams. Lawrence Phillips, the running back. You remember him?
Yeah, I remember him for the Rams. Number one, that was his number. Yeah, he had a lot of physical talent, but yeah, he had a lot of off the field issues and really just couldn't hold it together.
The other thing that went wrong because he ended up going to Denver when the Colts, even after John Elway said, I'm not going there, I'd rather play baseball with the Yankees, when the Colts decided to pick John Elway at number one, and that obviously didn't work out, and that was a missed opportunity to do something really positive. Even though he said, I'm not coming, they took a shot anyway and couldn't get it done.
Elway?
Yes.
So he was
drafted by Baltimore when they were still in Baltimore.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he said, no, I don't want to play him because you stink. He said, I'm going to play baseball because Steinbrenner wants me, and then they finally made a deal, and he ended up going to Denver. That's how that. You didn't know that?
No, I did not know that story. It's got a little Eli Manning vibe.
So I actually got one. That's the only one I'll ever get on Rob when it comes to stuff like this. Okay, at number 9, let's take a look at second overall, 2012, Robert Griffin III, Washington. But that may be Coach Shanahan's problem because he left him in there when he had the bum knee and he got hurt even worse.
I mean, the whole DMV, as they call it, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, they were on fire that rookie season for RG3. They thought he fit in perfectly. I remember he was throwing bombs, running everywhere. And after that first season or two, like you said, he tore an ACL or really hurt his leg. Just wasn't the same after that.
All right, so this is another. I think he's one of you. Is he an Ohio State guy? Chase Young, Ohio State guy?
Chase Young?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, defensive end.
Yeah.
And this is, we could call this 9B because there were a couple of really bad ones as far as our top 10. Second overall, 2020 for Washington, defensive end Chase Young, who when they were talking about getting rid of him and he ended up in Frisco, who knows where he's at now, I wanted the Steelers to jump on this guy. Another guy who had the physical characteristics who you would think was going to be a slam dunk, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, I remember him as a towering figure at Ohio State and with Washington. And I remember when he was traded to San Francisco. I guess I didn't even realize that he could be qualified as a bust, but you're right. I haven't heard too much about him.
Well, the other one of ours that we're going to take a look at now, 15th overall 2021 by the Patriots, Mac Jones out of Alabama, who's now backing up Purdy out there in San Francisco. They say he is a bust. There's even been talk about the Steelers maybe looking at him if Rodgers doesn't come back and Howard isn't ready or Mason Rudolph can't get the job done. He looked good out there, but he's never thrilled me either. So there is such a fine line. We had it with Kenny Pickett could be in this category too. What do you think makes a good NFL quarterback translate, even if they were a great quarterback, into a great franchise quarterback from college to the NFL?
Well, there's something that I think a lot of people do not talk about, but, between the ears, are you listening to the coaching that is being given to you? Because obviously you have 32 NFL teams, and, why is it that Mac Jones didn't pan out, but you got people like Drake May who did pan out? I mean, is the talent between Mac Jones coming out of college and Drake May, is it that much different? Or could it possibly be with some of these quarterbacks when you get to the pros that maybe their ego's too much? Maybe they're not really listening to what these coaches are trying to teach them and show them. And if you don't come in very humble and really learn what coaches are showing you, what they're telling you, I think there's a reason why there's so many coaches in the NFL, because it's so hard to get to that next level and beating these teams. And if you're a quarterback, soak up all you can learn, because any type of ego that you have where you think you know everything, you're going to pretty much find out that you don't.
All right, when we come back, more with Rob Taylor as we wrap up our Easter edition, Easter Sunday of Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. So we did the greatest to come out of Pitt. We did the greatest to come out of WVU as far as the draft, and we cannot let Ohio State slip away because we have one of their proud alum, Rob Taylor, with us. We'll talk about some of the great Ohio State football players who matriculated to the NFL, Pro Bowl careers, and even NFL Hall of Fame careers next on KDK as we continue to count down to the NFL draft coming to Pittsburgh on the 23rd of this month.
We're only 18 days until the draft. Everything you need to know surrounding the draft is right here. It's brought to you by Bill Few Associates Wealth Management, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
Don't delay in getting that plumbing repair done. Call Palucci Plumbing today for all of your plumbing needs. From trenchless sewer repair and waterline repairs and replacement, hot water tanks, sewer camera inspections, to Pittsburgh potty repairs, no job is too small for Palucci Plumbing. Owners Amy and Nick Palucci have been in business for 26 years, so give them a call for your next plumbing repair or replacement. Palucci Plumbing, 412-782-5050. That's 412-782-5050.
Shopping for replacement windows? Metropolitan Window Company elevates your shopping experience.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you'll experience personalized knowledge, expertise, and professionalism from our first visit to your home until our craftsmen complete your installation.
We're the window company that people want in their homes, and our exclusive Infinity by Marvin 100% fiberglass windows are the windows people love.
They're built for life. They are the strongest, longest-lasting windows you can buy.
And we have a great selection of colors and finishes. Experience Metropolitan Window Company. Stop by our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, Ohio State in the spotlight from every angle imaginable when it comes to the NFL draft. So looking ahead, looking back. And Ohio State has had some good ones, including a guy with the Steelers who many people believe could be the next man up. What do you make of Jack Sawyer, who was taken in last year's draft and, of course, did okay for the Steelers this year?
Yeah, I think he's going to turn out to be a pretty good linebacker for the Steelers. I mean, he had some pretty nice plays in, quote, limited action with the Steelers in his rookie season this past year. And I think he knows how to obviously play the position. Obviously, you're not going to overstep people who are already in the starting lineup when you have Highsmith and people like that. But, I think when Sawyer gets his chance to really play every down or so, I think he's going to be good for Pittsburgh.
All right, so tell me about Will Howard. What's your gut feeling about Will Howard with the Steelers?
My gut feeling is I go back to actually my favorite Ohio State quarterback of all time, if anybody can believe this, Craig Krenzel, when the Buckeyes won the 2002 national championship. I was a senior at college there, so that's my all-time favorite quarterback. But he didn't do too much in the NFL. He was kind of a brainiac and knew a whole lot and could study everything. But on the field in the NFL, it just didn't happen. I think Will Howard has a better arm strength and better presence in the pocket. However, I'm not exactly sure if in my heart I feel like he can be a Pro Bowl quarterback in the NFL or somebody that you could call a franchise quarterback. I think he could be a good, healthy backup. But as far as Will Howard, in my opinion, being like that next Ben Roethlisberger or something like that, right now I just don't see it.
Could Ryan Day make the jump to the NFL and be a rare college coach to actually succeed in the National Football League?
I think he could. I mean, he to me, Ryan Day doesn't seem like a coach that has to stay at Ohio State forever. To me, he seems like a guy who, in my opinion, if he wins one more championship at Ohio State, I think he's out of there. I think after one more championship, I think he's could sniff the NFL.
All right, let's talk about some possibilities as far as the future. Just some last names position. Reese, a linebacker, edge rusher. Downs, a safety. Styles, been hearing a lot about him. Linebacker, Sonny Styles. Tate, wide receiver. We mentioned Sawyer already in the league. Just some of your thoughts about those names.
You just some Ohio State players in the NFL. I mean, well, one person I really want to bring up is Jackson Smith-Njigba. He was that wide receiver for Seattle, helped them win the Super Bowl. Now the highest paid NFL receiver in history. Ohio State always has that legacy of receivers that can do pretty much all things on the field. Terry McLaurin for the Washington Commanders, and so those are some of the guys I'm looking at. Sonny Styles, I really don't have a real opinion on how he's going to turn out.
Yeah, can they make it? I mean, I hear this guy. When I was watching the combines, everybody was talking about him.
Yeah, I think he can. I think he can turn out to be pretty good. When it comes to defensive players, Ohio State, especially when either cornerbacks or safeties, to me, it's hit or miss. It's hit or miss when it comes to them. Some of them turn out to be good in the league. Some of them do not. So Sonny Styles, he might be one of those players that you could say, okay, this was a player out of Ohio State that played well in the NFL and really made a name for himself. But historically, if I had to bet on receivers versus defensive backs coming out of Ohio State in the NFL, I'm picking receivers.
All right, so let's get back to this year's draft for our Pittsburgh Steelers. So they say the needs are center, which I totally disagree. Offensive tackle, yes. Cornerback, yes. No wide receiver because we've got Pittman Jr. But what do you think their biggest needs are when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers right now, days away from the draft?
I think the offensive line to me isn't as strong as it should be.
No.
Yeah, I think. I mean, you're probably not going to. Like you said, you got Will Howard here. They're banking on Rodgers for another year, so you can't really talk about the quarterback. So you got the receivers, as you said. Defense is looking pretty good. Tight end looks to be secure with Freiermuth. To me, it's the offensive line. You can't have too many good offensive linemen because players get hurt, injured, and there's so many times when in the NFL, if you really study it, when an offensive lineman or a center goes down or a guard, a Pro Bowl guard, it really affects the team because the person who's coming in after them is just not up to par. So if I'm the Steelers, I'm really shoring up that offensive line. to make sure, Michigan, when it comes to college basketball, they talk about how they have 9 starters. If you're the Steelers, you want to make sure you have 7 or 8, quote, starters on that offensive line. So just in case someone goes down, another capable person can come in, and that, because remember, Rodgers needs it. I saw him running. He needs a good line.
They need to abandon that. I mean, that idea. I mean, I can see, if you think Will Howard is the future or maybe a bridge to get you to 2027, but I don't think that would be wise for them, because I don't think you have enough of these young players who are going to rally around him, and then he's going to be gone. You would be better off running it back with Howard, Mason Rudolph, maybe picking someone up. I thought Kirk Cousins could have ended up here, but now he's got another $20 million guaranteed. He's going to go out to Vegas to play with the Raiders and obviously mentor Mendoza when he comes into the league. See, this is the other thing, too. This whole idea of making these quarterbacks have to come in and start right away, that's not a healthy attitude, and it seems to be coming the way of, like Drake May, just to name one. It seems though that's the way they do it now, because, it's all about instant gratification. They want these teams to win now, and I still think the slow pace is the right way when it comes to quarterback. And even though Rodgers may give you that opportunity with Howard, I just don't think, because his future is not long-term. Plus, he's asking, from what I understand, $30 million. And on his podcast, Max Crosby said, is he worth it? Yes. And I know they're paying top-notch franchise quarterbacks $50 million. I just don't think paying Aaron Rodgers $30 million is a good idea right now.
Well, here's the thing. You talk about the NFL and should quarterbacks, how long should they sit out before they actually become the starter? Aaron Rodgers sat out 3 years behind Brett Favre. But my question is this. Did he really have to sit out 3 years? If it would have been 2 years, or if it would have been 1 year, I still think Rodgers would have turned out to be the future Hall of Fame quarterback. So, for example, if you're Will Howard, you've already sat 1 year for the most part, right, behind Rodgers. Howard doesn't have to sit 2 more years to learn everything. In my opinion, either he's going to be in for this year, or you don't believe in him.
Or you're going to get somebody.
Yeah, I mean, either, okay, you could quarterbacks could sit for 1 year, but sitting for 2, 3, 4 years, absolutely not. After a year, they either are going to be a good quarterback or they're not.
All right, so when you're covering the draft, are you going to brown bag it, or are you going to buy a steak at one of these places?
I told you I've been getting my walking in, my steps, pretty much every day to prepare for a whole bunch of walking for this NFL draft, because my car will be nowhere near downtown.
As we used to say in the neighborhood, your kicks, you'll be wearing some of the tread off those kicks. Listen,
I'm hoping for you know how today it's about 50 degrees?
Not 95 in the shade.
I'm please, weatherman, don't make it 85, 90 degrees during the draft.
Overcast, 50, 55, we're all in. Hey, thanks, bud.
No problem.
All right, good stuff. Don't forget New Pittsburgh Courier, and he, of course, anchor on the weekends, reports during the week, where I will be back from 6 to 10 all week. I want to thank Alonzo. Great job as always. It's been a fun week. Happy Easter. Enjoy the day. And we will reconvene here tomorrow night right after local news at 6 on KDKA 100.1 FM, AM 1020. That was a great show. It's your Pratt Pack. Good afternoon.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
Pittsburgh Mayor Corey O'Connor. Very atypical with the NFL draft and all the things that are going on.
We're all excited. It's coming fast. But we also want Pittsburghers, and I say this wherever I go, this is also your city. This is your draft. We're going to have hundreds of thousands of people coming from across the country, but we want Pittsburghers to be ambassadors.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Hey folks, it's Marty. NASCO Roofing, the region's roofing leader. Wow, they're good. They continue to exceed customer expectation. For instance, Charles from Bethel Park highly recommends NASCO. Charles was pleased with NASCO's exemplary customer service and the quality of their work. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Charles. Now's the time to get NASCO on your roof. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO, NASCO.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
In 1945, my grandparents made sausage using the finest ingredients and a lot of love. I'm Ernie Ritchie. After 80 years, the recipe never changed. Visit our store and celebrate our 80th anniversary. Ritchie's Italian Sausage. It's what Pittsburgh eats since 1945.
100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. Covered by JP Roofing and Siding. Pittsburgh's #1 platinum roofing company. Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh, W261AX Pittsburgh.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 48 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 1 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Washington County Coroner says a person died in a wrong-way crash on Saturday. Crash happened around 6 o'clock in the evening in Donegal Township. That driver was going the wrong way in the westbound lane of Route 40 at speeds of over 80 miles per hour. That driver then collided head-on with an SUV near the intersection with Lake Road. The driver was pronounced dead at 9:15 p.m. or so at a local hospital. State police are investigating the crash. Pittsburgh police say a car crashed into the side of a home on the north side. It happened Saturday night around 11:15 in the 600 block of Danbury Street in the Perry South neighborhood. That home caught on fire after that. The emergency crew was able to put out the flames. No injuries were reported. Well, the Department of Homeland Security says ICE agents arrested 13 people outside of a PennDOT driver's license center in Armstrong County. The arrest happened on Friday. DHS says ICE responded to calls from the East Franklin Police Department because of a, quote, abnormally large amount of individuals outside the driver's license center in Katanning. Those arrested were from countries including Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Turkmenistan. DHS, which referred to those arrested as, quote, illegal aliens, end quote, said one of the suspects resisted arrest and assaulted a local officer. The incident is under investigation. Well, the second crew member aboard that F-15 fighter jet that was shot down over Iran on Friday has been rescued by the U.S. military forces who conducted a rescue mission earlier on Saturday night. The crew member who was rescued was the weapons systems officer aboard the two-seater aircraft that was down by Iranian fire on Friday. The first crew member, the pilot, he was rescued on Friday by the U.S. Now, President Donald Trump, in a post on social media, hailed the rescue of the second crew member, calling it one of the most daring search and rescue operations in U.S. history, and also writing, quote, "We got him." In the post, Trump also said the operation unfolded over several hours and involved dozens of aircraft. He said the rescued crew member is a colonel who sustained injuries but will be just fine, adding he is safe and sound. KDK Radio News Time, it's 1:02. In KDK Sports, about a half hour away from first pitch. Sunday afternoon baseball. Pirates hosted the Baltimore Orioles. The Pirates have won the first